Good Sunday morning, everybody. It's 4 a.m. I am Chief Meteorologist Casanova Nurse here in the First to Know Weather Center here at ABC 27. Yeah, early Sunday morning. You're not used to seeing me this early, but whenever there's some active weather, even on these off hours, we're going to be tracking it for you, and that's what we are anticipating for later this morning across the state line region. So here's what you need to know. We've been telling you about this since early last week, that we'd have a line of thunderstorms coming in, and it's still making progress in our direction. So around the sunrise time frame, maybe the dawn hours in the tri-state, through at least, I'd say, late morning. We'll stretch it a little bit into the early afternoon across our eastern areas in the Swanee Valley. That's the rough estimated timing of the passage of this storm line. It will cause, of course, rain, occasional lightning and thunder. Gusty trends are going to be commonplace across our area, just generally strong breezy conditions. And then when this line comes in, that enhances the wind gusts. So one of the main hazards that many of us will be facing is just the overall risk of gustier winds that can create just a few pockets of damage. And there's a tornado watch in effect, so we're going to be watching for maybe one or two spots occasionally that can spin and cause a brief tornado concern. Most inland areas will be affected by this. Not to say the coast will not, but I think most of our inland areas may have the strongest thunderstorm potential out of the other portions of our region. So as of now, through about 10 o'clock, a tornado watch is in effect. It includes most of our South Georgia counties, some exceptions, Lowndes, Lanier to the east. You're out of the watch for now. We'll see how the progress and strength of this line dictates the future need for a watch in those areas. And also excluded is from the Osceola River to the east and the eastern Big Bend. And the same applies for you all. We'll see this line coming through. Depending on its strength and form, there can be an extension of the watch in time and in geography. And of course, the opposite is true as well. Once the line passes through certain areas in the tri-state, those watch zones will be dropped likely before 10 a.m. Not much happening as of this point. As of about 4:02, there are a few little specks of showers that are trying to stream up around the Wiregrass area, as well as just off into the coastline. But there's a broader line that's causing more active weather in sections of Alabama, right along Interstate 65, and that's steadily marching towards the east. So a lot of this will be extending into west central Georgia, where it can be a little more fierce. The southern edge of that line kind of re-energizing itself near Mobile Bay. So we'll monitor the trends there and how that will determine what kind of active weather we can experience here throughout the rest of the morning. Here's how it looks in the forecast and focus. That band starts to push in. Rough estimated timing about 6, 7 a.m. in the Lake Seminole counties. We'll put it at about 8, 9 a.m. through the 319 corridor and stretching into the Alapa River area. And then Swanee River Valley, 10, 11 o'clock or so. Should be clearing out as far as the strongest part of that line by midday. And then most of the rain starts to push away by about 2, 3 p.m. But once that initial line comes through, that's the peak of the severe weather risk for you. Once that moves out of your area, the severe weather risk will be done. And it's just one of those classic wintertime squall lines that's going to cause some hassles for many of us and maybe just a little more of an enhanced problem for a select few. Wind gusts, as I mentioned, will be the primary risk that most of us will be facing. A tornado risk is smaller. It's definitely more spot specific. It's hard to say exactly where we could see these areas of spin develop. We have some ideas, but specificity is really tough until we start to see these actually coming into our region. Folks who have been here long enough know the drill, and this is kind of one of those instances where we can see a tornado warning or two, but it's not going to be a widespread issue for many of us. Nonetheless, scattered occurrences of severe weather in terms of strong or damaging wind gusts and or a brief tornado is possible within the entire scope of our region. But again, those specific spots a little harder to nail down at this point. But to reemphasize that many of us will be breezy even outside of these storms. Forecast wind gusts easily 20 to 30, 35. When the thunderstorm line comes in, you can get that quick punch. 40, 50 can be pretty common, and even higher in terms of wind gusts that can trigger a severe thunderstorm warning. You'd need a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust potential for severe thunderstorm warnings, and we could see that as the initial line comes through. I tend to believe we can see it a little more possible in our South Georgia counties. Not to say North Florida can't have severe thunderstorm warnings, but maybe a little more of that wind potential the farther north you go. Either way, wind gusts and steady winds will be common across the region, so a wind advisory is in effect in general. Now, when it comes to where these spin-ups can occur, our system is kind of highlighting the Chattahoochee Valley, the tri-state area, southwest Georgia for maybe one or two spots where we can see some brief spin. Maybe a couple very weak points near the Interstate 10 corridor. So that's why I say inland areas, there can be a little bit more potential for this compared to the coast. But either way, we're going to be watching any and all storms that come our way. Lightning will be certainly a part of those stronger storms, as well as claps of thunder. So make sure the kiddos, the pets, they're all ready for such a phenomenon to occur. Again, it's not going to be something that lasts for hours on end, but when it comes into your neighborhood, you will certainly know it by the sounds of the winds and the occasional thunder that can come with those lightning flashes. Rainfall amounts will be pretty modest. I believe manageable. Our flooding risk is pretty minimal. So once this comes through, you can pick up maybe upwards of a ½ inch in general. Maybe a few locations can have slightly higher amounts, but again, this won't really warrant a major flooding concern. Now, I know a lot of smart folks are out there, and you probably know a lot of this, but a watch simply means that conditions are coming together in the atmosphere to support severe thunderstorms, or in this case, a tornado. The watch will last for several hours, as mentioned. It covers a good portion of our region. Make sure that you are aware that you have a watch in your area, if that is indeed the case for you. If a warning is issued, it's only going to last for a few minutes. It means things have come together to support that particular phenomenon. In this case, if you have a tornado warning, it means that a tornado has been detected by radar or confirmed by visual observation. It usually covers a smaller part of the region and usually lasts just for a few minutes. And when you have the warning, that means you got to make sure that that action plan is put into action. Interior room, lowest floor, protected from any kind of elements that may try to come your way. If you have a tornado watch, it does not mean that a tornado is occurring. That's only when you have a warning. When you do have a warning, like I said, find that shelter quickly. Stay there until the warning is dropped. And make sure that you stay with ABC 27 and First to Know Weather, because I'm here this morning. I'm here until the duration of the severe weather leaves the final parts of our area, and you can depend on me to keep you informed as to what's going on throughout the course of the morning. I'll be on Good Morning America, and of course, over the air. If we have tornado warnings, we'll be tracking them continuously and live, and we'll be streaming them as well through our news app, as well as here on Facebook and our website, WTXL.tv. So to wrap things up on this little segment here, thunderstorm line coming through between sunrise in our western areas and about midday, early afternoon across our eastern areas. Many of us will have gusty trends, a quick shot of heavy rain, and a quick little burst of strong winds. And for a few of us, those wind gusts can reach damaging levels around 60 miles per hour. We can see maybe a couple tornado warnings through the course of this. Watch for the possibility of power outages. It may be a temporary thing, but if you do have one of those stronger gusts that can maybe hit a transformer or something like that, you could lose power for a longer amount of time. I think power outages will kind of be scattered and sporadic, but they can occur within those strongest storms. Thanks for following along here at WTXL Tallahassee. I will again keep you updated throughout the course of the morning with more details about what all is going on with this line of storms coming through our area this Sunday morning.